You guys do understand that the longer we let this continue, the more chance there is for a mass casualty event here. Right? And I'm not just talking about out in the streets where ICE agents are shooting people in the face. I'm talking about the disabled community. I'm also talking about all of these. We still haven't found those 1,500 freaking migrants missing from one detention facility, just one. What's going to happen when you find out that they literally have been torturing them, raping them, killing them on purpose, and experimenting on them? How much longer is it gonna take before people realize it's just gonna keep getting worse? Police brutality has always been a problem, but white people wanted to ignore it because it made them uncomfortable. They didn't want to acknowledge that it was that way still. Oh, but everything's so much better. Really? Really? Because I have been with the Human Rights Organization since like 2011. Literally. I have. I've been registered with the Human Rights Association. I have been marching for MMIW and ICWA and BLM, my LGBTQIA fucking communities, this whole fucking time. I was marching in the fucking streets to make it so that gay people had the right to fucking marry who they wanted to and adopt children. I have been hit with rubber bullets and water cannons and beanbag guns. I have the scars to prove that I've taken knives to the face and bullets to the body. I'm ex-Navy. At least until I was medically disqualified from active duty. A lot of y'all, we've been telling you that it's gonna get to this point. You just didn't want to admit that it was true. You called us fearmongers and liars, telling us that we have Trump derangement syndrome. I think that is what MAGA has, honestly, because they worship that motherfucker. This is what happened the last time Trump was in charge of immigration. Y'all just don't want to admit it. And it's not like they advertise it, right? Because, I mean, if they can say for the last 200 years that black men like to have suicide by hanging, and that's a preferred death for black people, it's suicide to hang yourself from a tree. If they can lie and say and have a whole smear campaign against a white lady who was LGBTQ, so technically she was still a minority, and have a whole fucking smear campaign against her that people want to believe because they want to trust their government and think that they're here to help them. They want to believe that the soldiers will remember their oath to the Constitution over the man and not... But they showed us that, you know, even though they're on the streets in multiple cities now in this country, they also just bombed Venezuela and a whole bunch of other boats in the fucking ocean. For funsies. You can sit there and say, oh, well, he needed money. If he would have canceled his contract, he would have went to jail. So? when Obama was doing the immigration thing, and Clinton, which you guys like to bring up, they still had due process. There weren't a gazillion different freaking concentration camps and detainment centers everywhere. And they didn't go into churches and hospitals and schools. It wasn't until this administration. Everything you're seeing, all the fuck shit that he is doing now, the only reason he's doing it now is because he couldn't the first time. Because of COVID. And yes, you have to also blame Biden. He could have done so much more to fix the shit that he did his first term. Trump did his first term, but he didn't. If anything, he was helping all the Republicans take your rights away. But you don't want to, admit that, though, right? Because that means that our government is just one big, huge fucking lie. The only reason that America has stayed in power as long as it has is because it's been able to keep the narrative on the world stage. Just like Israel. That image is gone. Decimated. And guess who did it? Your daddy king did it. So when the stock markets keep tanking because of oil and tariffs and this, that, and the other thing, and when people keep dying more than they already fucking were, and when, how much longer? What is it really gonna fucking take? I think that those of us who can need to Nepal this bitch. And those who can't, they need to Italy it. If you don't have the cojones to Nepal it out, then you need to be like Italy. And if you don't want to do that either, or you can't do that, then you definitely need to keep calling your fucking reps. I mean, the only way that this keeps going unchecked is if we stop fighting back. There aren't enough judges and fucking representatives standing up to him. Is there? Or else a lot of this shit, all the constitutional amendments this fuck has been getting away with breaking, wouldn't have been a thing. He would have, when Jack Smith gave his testimony in front of fucking Congress, saying this motherfucker should have been in jail, they should have ended his presidency right then. But they won't. They want this to happen. They're allowing it. They are allowing it. Article 2, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution says that we can remove this whole fucking regime. I lost track of how many petitions I have signed to get rid of Pam Bondi and Donald Trump and fucking Mike Johnson. Kristi Noem. Still vote while you can, of course. Of course. But the only way that this keeps going the way that they want it to is if we stop fighting back in every fucking way. Stop saying we're cooked. We're not dead yet. The engine boats stopped running in the middle of the ocean, but there's a whole crew that could fix the engine if they wanted to. Maybe. They just have to have the knowledge and the courage to do it. So let's get ourselves out of the middle of the ocean, huh?